This season on Heartlines, we're committed to making a difference in people's lives. So Heartlines, in partnership with Reda Consult, is offering 12 free slots of counseling every quarter for people in need of professional counseling. Additionally, we're taking on 2 pro bono cases for individuals navigating a challenging divorce. To participate, please send an email to counsel@vedaconsult.com with your story. Our team will carefully review all submissions and will contact all the shortlisted candidates. Heartlines is live Mondays to Fridays at 10 p.m, so engage with us. Hello everyone, welcome to Heartlines. This is our space where we discuss everything relationship and love, and I'm your host Franca. Tonight on the show, I have Tomi Akimbobola and Precious Oden. Tomi, what? Why you dey suck belly? When I was introducing you.
Leave me alone, please. Am I breathing properly?
So we have added weight.
I've added muscles.
Okay, muscles. Okay. I'll ban you from coming. You're selling markets. Okay. Okay. Precious, how are you? I've heard you now.
Hi,
Said
good
okay.
evening.
Good evening, Precious. How are you?
My person, how are you?
I'm
Jerry?
good. I'm good.
How are you?
I'm fine, Tommy. Good
You
evening.
look a bit pale and dull. Are you okay?
I'm good. I just had one of those days, but I'm good.
This is not you.
Precious, this is not the regular. You want to share something?
I just had one of those days.
I mean,
Bele?
yeah, people, you can always
Uh,
talk to us, man. Come on.
no, it was just stressful in a very funny way.
Come take beer.
Okay,
I'm
so
fine.
let's take a break and go hug Precious, and then after the break, I'm sure she will be fine. Some that fill us with joy, others that test our strength. Welcome to Heartlines. This is our space to explore the highs and lows of human connection, the love, the heartbreak, and resilience that shapes our life. From relationships to friendships, parenting to partnerships, and so much more. Every week, we share stories and conversations that define us, navigating love, separations, the struggles of parenting, dealing with anxiety and managing the pressures and stress of life. Real conversations that bring us closer, helping us heal, grow, and connect. So join me Mondays through Fridays at 10 p.m. for Heartlines, the show where we'll connect hearts, have real conversations with real people, one story at a time.
Tell us you're a Nigerian without saying a word. Energy security is one of the most pressing issues for many developing countries like Nigeria. And if there's going to be any meaningful progress, addressing our energy issues is non-negotiable.
I need to see light for my house. Make them do something.
Band A is expensive. I literally have to turn off all my appliances just to reduce costs.
We need light.
Introducing the Energy Outlook, your go-to show for everything energy. Every week, we'll bring you the latest insights, innovation, and in-depth analysis of Nigeria's energy sector. From policy discussions to regulatory insights, we'll analyze the key decisions influencing growth and sustainability in the energy sector. We'll bring you the human stories behind the headlines, giving you a personal perspective on the broader energy challenges. Join me every Friday at 6 p.m. for the Energy Outlook, your guide to the future of energy, where energy means business.
Thanks for staying with us on Heartlines.
Hello, Precious.
Hello.
You feel better?
Yeah, I'm good. I can't wait for this conversation. You know, when you posted it, I went and screamed a big yes.
Yeah.
I can't wait to hear you. Come on, man.
And because I'm going to be learning now.
Right.
Yeah. But seriously, is living together before marriage a test of compatibility?
Tell us from your experience. I mean,
Yes, it is.
let's hear from
It's not
Franca.
about. It's
You've
not
been
about
there for the
experience.
longest
No, it's
of us
not
all.
about living together before marriage. You don't understand the
But
question.
I'm sure you lived with your husband before marriage.
I did not. Why would I live with him before marriage?
Why can't you live with him before marriage?
Why would I live with him
See, this
before
is what we're
marriage?
talking about. Yeah, I got you.
What do you mean you got me?
Why
I don't
can't you live
understand.
with your spouse before marriage?
No, but I didn't have to live with him before marriage because we're in different towns.
Different towns. So at one point, you guys never lived together.
Live together. So living together, that you go and see somebody is not living together.
So when you see someone, you don't spend like 3-4 days with the
That's
person.
not living together, yes.
Okay.
So living together is like doing a year, 2 years, 3 years, and you guys act as if you are married, but you're not
So
married.
you didn't do 6 months. With your
Yeah.
6 what?
And that's actually cohabitation.
So you know why I asked this question is for us to put a better context into what we're talking about, right?
Living together is, there's no other
Living
context.
together is not visiting. No.
It's not visiting.
It's not going to do weekends.
If you go visit person for 4 days or 2 weeks, you are living with that person for 2 weeks.
Tommy, that you
We are
stay
not
with
doing
somebody,
that one.
Tommy, living with somebody, you can endure whatever it is for 2 weeks.
Because you are living.
Yes, because you leave. You
After
say, you
1
know
year,
what?
you're not going to leave.
You don't get my point.
I
There
don't
are
get
certain
your
things
point.
you
That's what
cannot.
I'm
Tommy,
what
you
I'm
just like
saying.
to argue sometimes. Please, let's be focused.
I'm actually being sincere with my
No,
question.
you're not being. You're not being sincere. How can you say 2 weeks is living with someone? Does it make sense?
What's it called? Visiting.
That's visiting. How can you say, oh, you lived with somebody
You
for
just paid a
you just
visit,
paid a visit. You cannot know anything. Living with somebody is that you're living with the person. The person is going to work. You have to tolerate all the nonsense.
So how long do we call living?
Anything from 6 months, 1 year.
Okay, fair enough.
Like, living together. Like, some people actually live together for 2 years, 3 years before they get married.
Yes.
Do you understand? They act like husband and wife. They go anywhere. They leave no space, everything. You both go to work in the morning, act as if you're already living together. So that's what we mean. Not, you go stay with somebody for 2 weeks. Anybody can decide to endure certain things. I'm like, once you know that the person is living in 2 weeks, trust me, you won't get upset.
So are you saying someone cannot pretend for a
Exactly.
year?
You don't get my point. Tommy, if you come to stay with me for 2 weeks,
Because there's a time to
so
it.
I would tolerate it. There's a
You'll
time
be on
to
your
it.
best behavior.
You'll be on your
yes.
best behavior. There's a time to it. Even if you can't take it, you're telling yourself, you know what? It's just 2 weeks.
In
Let me
2
tolerate
weeks.
it.
In 2 weeks.
Even 1 month. It's just 1 month.
As long as it has a time frame.
As long as it has a time, you're telling yourself, you know what, he has done 2 weeks. The person has done 2 weeks. It's okay. We just need to bear whatever it is for another 2 weeks. But living together, the person is not going anywhere. Please.
Fair enough.
Okay, so Precious, so you're saying that living together is a true test of compatibility before marriage?
Not the complete true test, but one of the many tests.
Okay.
And this is because it can show you the unadulterated version of this person. Like, he's not the suited up, makeup person, no. The real natural person. Because trust me, they cannot pretend for so long. And so even if you don't want to live together for a long time, if you're getting married a year before you finally get married, you can actually, because you need to be able to stay together for a while. We have couples today who just got married, and in 3 months, they're already thinking about having separate, like the wife wants to get a job in another city just because she cannot live with her husband under the same roof.
Yeah, because the truth is, I personally think that even when you go on visits, so because you're telling yourself, so the truth is, before marriage, even if you decide to live with somebody, not like totally living, but if you go and visit and you tell yourself 2 months, 3 months, you're doing a month, you're doing 2 months, there's something that is telling you that, you know what, don't get upset. It's just, I'm not leaving. So the way you won't get really upset because you're telling yourself, I'm leaving very soon.
Yeah.
So I think there's a difference even when you're living together, you have an option of leaving. Do you understand? As far as you have an option to go somewhere, like when you quarrel, you can leave the house, go somewhere and go and chill somewhere for like a year, a month or two. You don't have to come back. You have a getaway. But in marriage, you don't have any getaway.
Yeah.
So there are some slight, you understand, differences with living together before marriage and actually living together in marriage. Because when you're dating, when you leave, the guy is not going to say you left the house. Why did you leave the house? No. But if you're married and your wife packs her things and leaves, they go call family meeting.
She will explain where she
I beg to differ. Even relationships, they do that. The guy will say, ask where you go to. No.
But she has the right to go to her
Yeah,
parents'
she has the right, but the guy will say, okay, if it's parent you're talking about.
Tommy, you don't get my point. Listen.
And with that one,
Tommy, the guy has no rights.
Yes.
He has no right, but some guys still do it.
You don't.
What I'm saying.
We're saying, he say he do them, he choose to do them, and the girl can decide
accept.
not to. Yeah, the girl can decide not to explain. But this one, as they don't marry, the woman go talk where she go. So you cannot say it's the same thing. That some guys do it. I can decide not to even. It's not. Do you understand? You can't even ask me, say where I go. No, I have a right to leave. You're not married to me, so I can pick up my bag and leave. But for marriage, you know, if you just carry back, come out. No, except maybe family don't come.
You know, if you just carry back, come out. No, that's principle. But you have people who they run them now. You are speaking based on principle. We have people who do it. You're my so you're vexed. Pick bag and leave the house. You are speaking based on principle. I'm speaking based on reality.
Tell me, what are we saying right now? That the woman picks her bag.
Doesn't make it right. I'm not saying it's right.
Listen.
Okay.
That the woman picks her bag and leaves the house. Is that not another problem?
It's another problem.
So what are you talking about? Is that not what we're saying? That if she try him, he go answer where he go. Which is why some people will not want to do it. Because you go answer where you go.
Yeah.
So what are we saying? Because that's another problem entirely. We're not even discussing the issue at hand now. We're going to start discussing. In fact, the minute you leave the house, even if it's the guy that did something wrong, it is no longer the guy anymore. That's what it is. But if you're dating, you take your bag and leave the house. If you like, you won't judge matter. Now the guy matter and I go judge. Not whether the girl leave house or not. In fact, they will start questioning the girl. Why you they live for the guy house?
True.
So when you see people, they run them. It's not about what people are doing that doesn't make sense. We're saying, what's the proper thing?
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so if we're saying that we're encouraging living together, but Precious, you know there are a lot of downsides to it as well.
Yes.
More than the good side.
Tell me, only yeah.
Well, that's why you and Tommy are here.
Yeah, that's why I'm asking out. Yeah, what's the bad side to it?
Because both of you are married.
So it's not about marriage. It's about living. Let's not make it about marriage. It's about living together. I'm sure everybody here has dated someone. Nobody's a virgin here. Nobody has not. You understand? So my point is, living together. Why do people not? Because if it's so fantastic, everybody can go and live with whoever they're dating.
I know, when you see the bad character, you will not enter the marriage. So because I hear couples make comments like, if we had lived together before marriage, I wouldn't have ended up marrying you.
But at the same time, not even live together, but sometimes people live together, do you understand? And plenty see finish, they enter before the marriage.
Yes, now. Too much stress. You are even showing the person the future.
So there are a lot of, and guess what? There are people that they have lived together before marriage, and the guy don't marry them. Which is why a lot of people don't even want to live together, because they say you're sleeping with the guy, you're cleaning and doing everything. At the same time, the guy is still cheating because he's telling you, the guy is still cheating and telling you that you're not my wife. You get my point? So there are a lot of downsides. So the only reason for living together.
Cheating and telling you're not my wife.
Yes.
First, I expect you to live with someone if there are intentions to that direction of getting married.
Tommy.
Yeah.
So that's what we're saying. They are not married. They are living together. That you live together doesn't mean the guy is going to get married to you.
Yeah, they could be cohabiting now.
It's not cohabiting, boyfriend and girlfriend. Let's state it. You are dating somebody, you choose to
Boyfriend
go
and
and live with
girlfriend.
the person.
Yes.
It doesn't mean the person is going to marry you.
No, not necessarily.
Exactly that's what we're saying. So you're
Not
saying it has
necessarily.
exactly not
Not
necessarily.
necessarily at all.
So if the guys you're questioning cheating and living together, are you saying it doesn't happen?
It happen now.
So why are you questioning? I don't understand. Why are you questioning it?
No, I'm not questioning it.
Okay. So the guy says, so you're living with the person, you're doing the laundry and everything. So we're trying to discuss the downsides to this, because the only good thing to it is you're checking if you guys are compatible. But then you're beginning to find out. That's the only thing, to find out if you're compatible.
So
But the
you must
downsides
to
to
find
it,
out. Okay, go on.
the downsides to it are more. See finish. The guy go see you finish one. At the end of the day, you guys might not. In fact, a lot of people stopped living together because at the end of the day, they live 5 years with the person and they don't get married. And then even in that same, even in that, you find out that, okay, so the things you're supposed to experience maybe the first year of your marriage, and then you are not able to leave because you're married. You don't leave on for boyfriend and girlfriend matter. And then you can leave, you can decide to leave.
And if you live with that person during that living period and he doesn't come out and show his true self, what are we saying? And you still end up getting married to this person, he now exhibits new character.
What we're discussing. So is it that when we're talking, something just pops up in your head and you just say it out?
Yes, as it pops up, I speak it out.
Then
we talk about it.
I'm not in your head, so you can't cut me short. You don't know how to have conversations. Do you understand? Because you were trying to understand what the downsides are. And now you're saying that, I don't even understand what he said anyway.
Sure, you want me to say it again?
I don't want you to say it. You can explain what you're trying to say, because I don't get it, in all honesty. So, but my point is, so there are a lot of downsides to it than the good side or just the compatibility. So, Precious, the way you said, it's good. It's good for people to live together. For me, knowing that the downsides are more, why would you say it's good for them to live? Just because of compatibility?
Yes, because for some, this thing about marriage is not like a yes or a no. There's some in between. So for some, they really want to understand if they can have compatibility with this person. So for them, it's like your daily routine, how you generally live on a morning to evening. How is your daily life like? And once they have been able to see that and establish that, they are comfortable with you, and the relationship can progress, and if possible, really end up in marriage. I understand that there are the disadvantages, but I am seeing the good side of it. The only thing I tell people is don't live together for too long before marriage.
So what's your definition of too long?
Anything more than 2 years. Extended period of time can be 6 months to 1 year. But after that, then it starts becoming a problem.
Okay. So, but guess what? Right now, I think a lot of people live more together before marriage, like in recent times.
Yeah. Yes,
people
in recent
live
times.
together. Yes, in recent times, people live more together before marriage. And yet, marriages are still breaking even more than how it was before.
Yes.
So what would you say? They didn't think they were...
one of the downsides is the lack of patience, because I think one of the things that, like you rightly said, what you experience in the first 1-2 years of marriage, and you say, look, I'm not going anywhere, I have to stay and work this out. You are experiencing it in a relationship, so it's easy for you to work out. So that resilience that you build to say, look, I like this thing, I came into this marriage because I like it, I love it, I want to build it. So I'm going to stay through the initial storms and trials and temptations. You're not going to be able to build that resilience, which is one of the good things that you're supposed to have in marriage anyways.
Okay, so what you're saying is, I need to understand what you're saying. So you're saying that the marriages, because what we're saying is, from what you're arguing is that the marriage, they staying together, living together before marriage helps compatibility. Right?
Yes, it does.
Helps you to identify if you guys are compatible or not. And I'm saying that in recent times, a lot of couples live together before marriage. But yet, we have a higher number of divorce cases now, which tells you that they are not compatible. right?
Yeah, right.
So what is the problem? Because if you have lived together, do you understand? You guys understand each other before getting married. Why do we still have these issues? So are we saying that living, so it just clearly says that living together, it doesn't mean your marriage will last.
It's not the
Doesn't
only
mean you're
guarantee, of course.
Yeah, it doesn't mean you're compatible. That's what it means.
Now you're coming to my table. Because
Tomi,
that's what I've been saying
Tomi,
all
you don't
day.
have a table, please. You really don't have a table. Now, Joko, you know, now Matt, today your front. You really don't have a
Did
table
you live
right
with
now.
your wife before marriage?
I think I did about 6 months with her before marriage. Yeah, about 6 months.
I didn't hear that. You said?
About 6 months before marriage.
Okay, so that's a good period of what we call extended time.
Okay, so I need to ask a question. Tomi, did that help your marriage? Did it help you know that you said the minute you saw your wife, you knew she was going to be your wife.
So either way,
regardless of whether you
our
live.
flaws.
We're not talking about flaws.
You know, Sebi is in, regardless
Regardless of
when you
whether
get to
you
live with
live
someone
her-
is how you get to know who the person is.
Tomi, you already made up your mind. You were
That's
going
what
to
I'm
marry her.
saying.
So regardless
of living with the person or not,
you would have still
I
married
would have
her.
still married her because I didn't care about her flaws.
So exactly. So my point is, Precious, do you understand what we're trying to say here? Tomi didn't have to
Yes,
live
yes,
with his
yes.
wife to get married to her.
So his mind was already made up.
His mind was already made up. So it had nothing to do whether you know they had to live together. They living together, I'm sure he just, you know, because say not get girlfriend. He just want
Now just
Even if
jara.
now you sabi, even if if it's case of living together, nobody's perfect. I'm sure there are some things I would have seen. I would have like, this one safe. I want too much. But once because of that, I will not marry her. I already made up my mind. I'm getting married to this woman. So it's not, well, for me, it wasn't about living with the woman. I already knew this was my wife.
Okay, so anyway, you are just one person out of you understand, just one person, but a lot of people. So, but do people really intentionally live together because they want to get married? I don't think that's what it is. So,
But that's the English they use now.
No, that's a lie.
So it's relative, right?
Yeah. Okay. So let me say why I say that.
Okay.
So the truth is, as much as you have made up your mind that you want to marry her, sometimes you're not even saying it to her.
It's to yourself.
You're saying it to yourself.
My wife didn't know I was married.
Exactly. So that come and live with me, or so that part of coming to stay is because you guys are forming a very close bond, and you guys just feel comfortable being around each other.
Yeah, that's why you can live together in the first place.
That's why you want to, because it's not about come and stay. It just happens naturally. It's not because, you understand, the guy is saying, so the guy is telling himself, I like her. I'm maybe a person I like, you understand, marry. So maybe she come and live with me because I love her company, not because I want to check out if I want to marry her. Because you've already made up your mind. And sometimes, in that living together for 6 months, doesn't mean she doesn't go somewhere and comes back. She will just come, stay with her boyfriend. That's how it happens. Okay, I'm chilling with my boyfriend for a month. Then 2 weeks, I go to my place. I come back. So most of the time, that's what you see. So it's not that people intentionally say, okay, we're getting married. Let's go and live together. See if we're compatible.
No.
That's not how it
Or
happens.
do people do that, Precious? That because they're getting...
Franca, don't be surprised if some men actually say those words.
So getting married. Let's go and see how it is.
Let's go and live. So what I know that a lot of men...
we're planning to get married. Can we just... So the reason why I say so is I've seen a couple. When I was working in Calabar, there was somebody who... The same thing. So what the man did was he told them, instead of her renewing her rent and him renewing his own rent, since they were already going to get married, why don't they just pay rent together? Like live together. And that was what they did.
So that means she didn't have a place
some men can
No,
actually tell you.
So in that case, the two already had a direction. They knew they were going to get married, right? Which is why they could agree.
But still, it was not a guarantee that they would get married.
But that's what the guy said.
It's not a guarantee, no doubt. But there's already a direction to marriage. Marriage is already on the table.
Marriage
right?
is already on the table.
Which
so
is why they can have that
maybe they were
conversation.
planning to save money. Let's start living together as well. So they were already planning their life. Do you understand? And then in that case, they were already married because you know where? They get not get where to verse go.
Now they are living together.
Now they are living together. She don't get where to verse go.
Shock you.
No, you don't get. She has her own apartment.
Yeah.
And the guy now says, don't renew your rent. So she not get where she want verse go. So if she want verse come out. So imagine if they break up. If something happened and they broke up, what will happen to the girl?
Go different rooms now. Should be rooms inside the house.
I said they break up.
Eh.
If they
both
get
pay, they
angry,
both pay the rent now, so they go different rooms now. they will coexist in the apartment. They co-live, they cohabit. I mean, at least tentatively, they're able to sort themselves out.
they're not starting nothing like so precious. But did they put rent together, or one person paid? They didn't. It's not about putting rent together. One person would have
That's
paid.
the thing that, honestly, I don't know about that, but I know that they ended up living together.
And then guess what? One
a
person, if you
couple
don't
of
sell
months-
things,
So I'm speaking from the point of no, one person
Yes.
well, and could have moved that stuff into the house too. You know, that too can work. So it's like again, it's like I said, it's relative. Depends on different individuals' perspective.
so what is your take on living together before marriage?
Again, it's relative.
What is your take?
For me, people say, let me speak on what people say. People say it's essential because you get to understand each other's values. You see if you can align with each other's values. There's room for conversations to get to know each other properly. You get to live with each other to understand what irritates you about each other. You get to learn each other's boundaries and whatever it is. But still, it's not cast in stone. That does not mean you guys will marry, or even though you get to marry, that doesn't mean the marriage will not come to an end, right? Now, back to my take. Living together. I mean, different too. What works for goose and not work for the gander. I really don't have any say in that regard. It's relative.
So you're saying that for you,
Anyone. Might not
you
live,
can live
might
together.
Might not live. Anyone works for me. Anyone. So
Okay,
it depends
so
on the individuals. Do you want to live together? Fine. If you want to live together, fine.
So you not believe say see finish. So you don't have
So
reservations to certain things. You don't have an opinion
So
about it.
So when you say see finish, right? Which was why I said, what is your duration when you say live together?
Tommy, just the way we said it, 6 months, 1 year,
Good.
2 years, 3 years.
Good.
People even live 5 years, 6 years together before marriage.
Yeah.
For me, that's a lot.
Tommy,
Yes.
6 months, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. Some people live as much as 6 years together before marriage.
As much as 6 years, they probably might end up not getting married again.
We don't
People
know.
live 10, 15 years together.
I'm saying, and they might end up not getting married again. It's 50-50.
So that's what we're saying.
It's
So
too long. In that space, you've seen each other completely.
that's why I said see finish.
But guess what? There's nothing tying you guys together except maybe in the course of staying in that 6 years, you guys have babies, right? If they do have babies, then it's good. Because now there's something to hold on to. Okay, I have a child with this guy. Maybe I want to stay. But if there's nothing that's tying these people together, everybody will feel good as maybe after 6 years. So what's the guarantee that in 6
Okay,
years
so
I will not
but-
meet another person that I now like again? And then because
So
I'm
are
not
you
married
s-
to
are you
you,
saying-
it's easy for me to move on.
No, but Tommy, I think we have a certain mindset,
Okay.
which is why I think, as much as we say, oh, it is marriage that binds people together, I don't think it's that marriage. Sometimes it's commitment, and you do not have to be married to be committed. Yes, you do not have to be married to be committed. If I chose
So
to
if-
be with you,
There's a thin line between.
Tommy, commitment. So listen, if we're living together, we are not married, and I'm committed to being with you. I am loyal. I trust you. We do not have issues. Tommy, tell me why.
What is the basis of the commitment?
Tommy, are you saying it's married that is commitment?
No, I'm trying to. I'm
Okay, so
speaking.
what
I'm
okay.
actually speaking from a sincere question.
Okay, so
what's
Tommy-
what's the basis of the commitment?
So let me tell you, marriage,
Yes.
that you're married to somebody doesn't mean the person is committed to you.
I know I'm going again. Voila. So
Yes or no?
I said what? That's why I said voila, because you're right.
Yes, that you're married to someone doesn't mean the person is committed to you. So I do not have to be married to you for you to be committed
Then
to
what's
me.
the basis of commitment still?
Exactly. So it's how much the person is invested in that relationship. And marriage is not what defines how invested somebody is in a relationship.
Time invested. I feel is how much that person is of value to you.
It is not, Tommy, so value to you, it's
Okay,
your
okay,
decision to
investment
make.
becomes value, right,
It's
actually.
how that person is invested in it, because you give value to what you see. The things you see is what you're giving value to. So if that guy is invested in me in the sense that time, emotions, and every other thing that needs, in quote, what is important to me, that guy is giving it to me. Tommy, I do not need married to be committed to that guy. Yes. There are people who are in very serious relationships. They are not married. They are partners. There's no marriage.
Yeah, fantastic relationships.
Fantastic relationship. There's no cheating. There's nothing. They are committed to each other. There's no marriage. I don't think that word married, they destroy marriage.
Why?
Because let me tell you why. You see, once you're married, that thing is married. Expectations just gets crazy.
Relative. So,
because of that word marriage, the woman thinks, oh, that, you understand, this is, I own him. But they start to think that, oh, I own him. He cannot do certain things. You don't get disappointed. Told me, if I'm not married to you, and I know that you do not owe me anything, but you are invested in that relationship, I see how invested you are in that relationship, I'm better off with you than being married. Do you get my point? Because there's
that makes
nothing,
sense.
yes, because there's nothing holding you, you understand, into that relationship, but you're giving it freely. I can understand when people are committed to marriage because there's a word marriage, so it's a sense of responsibility. Do you understand? But as my partner, if you feel responsible for me, that's enough. So marriage shouldn't be the reason why people should be responsible. No. So please, commitment, it has nothing to do with marriage.
Oh, God.
Commitment has nothing to do with marriage, really. So if people understand that you can have very good relationship without that word marriage and the person is committed to you, I think we will have better relationships or better marriages if there's need for marriage.
You're actually right.
Yes, because if I'm in a relationship with you and I know that I can walk out anytime, the guy can walk out anytime, but we're both making serious efforts to make it work, what more do I need?
But who says it can't work out marriage? It's still back to commitment.
Told me you don't get my
Get
point.
me too. I'm supporting your point. It still comes back to commitment.
Told me you don't get my point. We're saying regardless, marriage or no marriage.
Yeah,
do you understand?
regardless.
But because of marriage, people feel that you should only give commitment in marriage. That was what you were about to argue.
Point blank.
Do you understand? People feel you only give commitment when there's marriage. No. You should give commitment to every relationship you have, regardless of what it's called.
Claire, you've been able to educate myself and even people out there.
Told me I go school. I don't go school when I go school.
I don't go school.
No. You're not as intelligent as I thought. Precious, please. You were gonna say something.
I forget I like to video.
Okay, you don't need to do anything about today. But seriously, Precious. Precious, seriously, what are your thoughts on this? Seriously, let's discuss this. So, really, from counseling, what this living together? I'm really particular about living together. What does it really do?
So what living together can help a couple do if they do it right is it helps you, apart from compatibility, it helps you understand this person's habits, routines. Like I said, you get to see the person in their natural habitats. So you're not meeting them on dates only. You're not paying visits where you know that the house has been prepared for your visits. You're not being packaged to introduce to his circle of friends or circle of influence, his or her circle of friends or circle of influence. So you get to see this person. Now, if it's done right, it would help. The problem is people don't understand that there is a time frame to even the extended time, of living together. I can say it's another way of also getting to know this person. So, because you see this thing about habits, there are certain habits that are, if this thing happens, I'm done. And some couples will not get to understand these habits about their partners until they have entered into marriage. When did that thing happen? Okay, was it a couple of, 2 months ago, when a pastor or so got married and found out that his wife was holier than thou. They were doing bed on defy, so they were far away from each other. So he never got to see her in her natural habitat to even be able to detect certain things. We're not saying you can know all, but we're saying equip yourself so that when you're going into marriage with your full chest. You're not going to marry saying, oh, I know this person completely. No, you're going to marry saying, from what I know of this person, I think we can have a good, life together.
You didn't finish that story now. What did the pastor say?
Okay, please let's quickly go on the break because I have a lot to
What
say
did the pastor
regarding all
say?
this. But I have a lot to say regarding all this. But let's quickly go on the break. When we come back, you will tell Tommy what the pastor saw.
Banka.
Nigeria, by extension Africa, battles a growing youthful population and with little or no meaningful engagement leaves a ticking time bomb on our hands. We are a blessed continent with great wealth, both in people and material. Our focus on ways remains driving conversations that affects us all. Topics in the news, social concerns, politics, leadership, governance, empowerment, resource management, conflict management, finance, SME sustainability, technological innovation, food security, health, education, brain drain, our well-being, citizenship, and much more. Our goal is to continuously drive these conversations, keep them burning at the table to effect a positive change, both for our nation and continent. Ways, what are you saying, has a secret ingredient that completes the conversation every single episode, and that ingredient is you. Our past conversations shaped our yesterday. To shape our tomorrow, we must keep talking. So, I want to hear you. Be a part of our live conversations Mondays through Fridays. And let's all have our say.
Thanks for staying with us on Heartlines.
Okay, so please note that you can send a message to our WhatsApp number 08190384663. Send in your message through our WhatsApp number or call us to join in the conversation on 07025007749 or 07014242420. And please remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel at Official Upgrade TV. Okay, so before we went on the break, Precious was telling us the story of a pastor who got married. And I think I heard that story. I read the story of a pastor who got married and he didn't know that the wife is meant to be is a guy. And I think he stabbed the wife 22 times or 28 times, 22 or 28 times, out of anger. But Precious, back to what you were stating. Even if they were living together and sex was not on the table, the guy wouldn't have known if that guy was a guy or a female, a guy or a man or a woman.
I beg to differ.
If they were living together.
Yeah, I beg to differ because if you don't go shower, you don't go use clean.
She will wear casual clothes.
I said
you
don't
wear
listen.
Casual clothes.
Listen to me.
You said sex
For
is
the
on the
fact,
table.
if sex is not on the table,
Yes.
they can live together, have their bath and different things in that house, and they won't cross that boundary. That's
It
we
will see her
always.
nakedness. Is that what you're
Yes. So what are we preaching?
For 6 months
Tommy,
or
what
a
are
year?
we preaching?
I'm not even saying they must shower together.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
listen,
It's not about shower together, but somehow, some way, living together.
Listen to
that
me.
package go back.
If you guys agree, that means you guys don't preach what you guys don't actually preach practice what you preach. Because when you said boundaries, when you're saying there are boundaries in relationship, when you're saying there's certain things, it's a communication. And you guys have to agree on whatever it is.
Yes.
If the lady was intentional, that you know what, I don't want him to see me before married. Tommy, there's nothing you're going to do. You can live together in that house, and the pastor will still not know.
The only reason why the pastor will not know because he carried pornography for down. That's why he will carefully hide it from the pastor.
What are you talking?
I mean, you can't stay with someone for 6 months, a year, mistakenly somehow.
Tommy, I don't know what we are.
Precious, come with me. Mistakenly somehow.
I don't know what we are arguing.
Mistakenly somehow.
Tommy,
Mistakenly somehow.
Honestly, listen. I honestly do not know what we're arguing because the truth is, you do not have to live with someone to know that the person is gay or not.
No, it's not about gay. I talk about having something different.
That's what I'm trying to say, whether he's gay or whether he has or he doesn't have. That's my point. Because are you telling me that while they were dating, they didn't date?
They dated.
So, did they not kiss? The guy not touch him? So what are you talking about?
If you know kiss though.
Exactly. So if they not kiss, why did they leave for the house? What makes you think they will kiss?
If you no kiss, so
what are we arguing?
But what I'm saying is there could have been mistake somehow.
Tell me, even dating, are you telling me there's no mistake in dating? I don't have to live with you for you to know who I am. That's my point. Even if you come visiting, Abi, if you go and visit, if you go visiting, it's possible. So what are we arguing? The fact that they set boundaries, whether they are living together or not.
They were not living together.
I'm saying whether they were living together or not. What I'm saying is not every relationship, not everybody has to live together.
Yes,
and you will still find out whatever it is.
And not everybody that lives together have to have sex. It's cast set in stone. Yes.
Yes. But at the same time, if you're setting boundaries, if you want to live together and set boundaries, you can say, oh, please, we will live together, don't come into my room. Okay. Setting boundaries. See, as far as you know how to set your boundaries, Tommy.
Come into my room.
Yes. And let me tell you why I say this with so much confidence. Right? I say this with so much confidence because if that lady was intentional about hiding her identity, Tommy, she would do anything to hide it, regardless of whoever she was dating.
You mean the man?
The wife, the so-called person. If she was intentional, do you understand? She will hide it.
You know what I'm saying? That could fly because it was something she really wanted to hide. So
exactly.
She was intentional about it.
So that's what I'm trying to say. Even if they were living together, if she was intentional about hiding it, the guy would still not know.
There's a reason for her to be intentional. There was a reason for her intentionality, right?
Tommy, it is this case we're discussing. And we're saying that, Tommy, what Precious was saying is that if they had lived together, Precious, that's not what you're saying, that if they had lived together, maybe the pastor would have found out.
He wants to find out.
He wants to find out.
That was what started it, yes.
Yes.
Fantastic.
And Franca is saying that it's possible that they will live together and she will still keep it.
They will not know because
the
guy was intentional about it.
Standard. Because there was a reason to be intentional about what I'm saying.
That's what we're saying. So
she could not afford to make mistake.
Exactly.
She could not afford to let him see what was down there. But if she was a real woman, I don't think she needs to be intentional.
Why are you just dramatic?
I'm not being dramatic. I'm just telling you what it is.
No,
why would I want to show
Tommy,
so someone who's my boyfriend or my girlfriend?
Tommy, if she was a real woman, Tommy, she wouldn't be telling this story because she'll still be alive.
She should be alive.
Exactly. So she'll still be alive.
I would not have known if indeed he saw a nakedness or not.
Or not. Exactly. So my point. So we're actually discussing this particular incident, and I'm saying that regardless of whether this is for this particular incident,
okay, then spot on.
Yes, regardless of whether they live together or not, since that person was very intentional.
That person was intentional.
She was very intentional, so you not get how.
He was very intentional.
And guess what? You cannot tell me that person was not even having sex while they were dating.
Say
because I don't understand.
The supposed wife?
Yes, because, so let me tell you what I don't get.
Not him though, somebody else.
So let me tell you what I don't get. Because it's crazy. And why I say that is, you're getting married to a pastor. I don't know how the guy found out that he still is a guy.
No, on the wedding day. I mean, the wedding day.
It was the wedding night.
We don't know how he found out. Is it that he saw something or she said something?
No, Baba, wedding night. What's it happen for wedding night now?
It was the wedding night now when it was time to get down.
When it was but some people construct whatever it is. You'll be shocked that she felt the guy would not know.
This one did not construct. They said, he did for there.
Okay, so he did for there. So if he was there, he did for there. What was the lady thinking?
That's what we don't understand. Because
that's why probably she went to a pastor now to say he will be able to have
back
a
to what you're saying, I didn't mean he had reconstructed that stuff. I don't think the pastor would have murdered him the way he did. The man saw.
Guess what? So were they having a conversation? Did they actually have a conversation? Because I'm
for us to have gone through with it, what if you find out?
Yes, because I'm thinking. You don't even know if this guy is that. You don't just take yourself to anybody. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Or is it possible that the pastor, they swing both ways?
Then why will he kill him? Why will he kill him?
That I swing both ways doesn't mean I want to marry.
No, but then why will he kill him? You are saying the person. I don't understand.
That I swing both ways doesn't mean I want you as my wife.
So it means that person knows say pastor they swing both ways.
Yes.
So he can't really say, since he does
yes.
another angle. Because why would that person be so confident to go into
Confidence,
that
because
marriage?
it doesn't make any sense.
Spot on, actually.
So,
It
but
doesn't. It
it
doesn't.
doesn't make any
But
sense. So,
unfortunately, it took someone's life.
Conversation.
Yeah.
That's why we keep saying open conversation.
but guess what? Like I said, living together won't have solved that problem.
No. Yeah, spot on that.
Living together won't have solved that problem. And trust me, there are a lot of people that live together. They still don't know jack about each other.
True.
Yes, because they're still busy lying about who they are to their
It's not
partners.
about lying. They probably don't even talk. They don't even go out together. They're just living in the same house.
Present the perfect.
So
Exactly.
it is not about living
Really,
to-
actually,
So
really.
it's not about living together.
Actually. In fact, now with this point you just made, Franca, now I think I'll be able to find my own conclusion. I don't think living together is the way to go.
I'm your shadow. Now we dey show you road.
No, with that point you just made, living together is not the way to go, actually.
So
Because if you're living together, you probably will not be so much interested in knowing this person because you think you know that person. But this person, when you're not living with this person, you don't know that person. You want to reach out to that person. You want to be involved in that person's activity, everything.
in fact,
because that
part
person's
of-
not with
part
you.
of- so the fact that you are living together just even makes you
Back to say finish.
will just even make you overlook so many things.
Yes, because you feel you know everything and you don't know Jack Robinson.
And then guess what? It would not even make the person so the pretense will not go to get to another level. The hide and seek, because you're living with somebody and he has to hide things. Trust me. In fact, at that time, he will know how to deal with you during the marriage. Because the things you think that...
So expectations change.
Yes.
What you were expecting to see or what you're expecting to live with for the rest of your life has changed.
But guess what?
Because the
This is
person
just...
said the package.
Thank you. This is just our opinion. There are people who live together and say, oh, it was the best thing that happened to them. Don't get me wrong.
Yes.
But
Yes, some people have
we're
had
saying,
them.
by statistics, does it make any sense? From what we have
It
seen,
don't make sense.
does it really make any sense? Which is why I said that in this era or in recent times, people, they live together before marriage. A lot of them live together before marriage. And my darling, it's not helping anything.
If you was only together at least 6 months, maximum of 6 months.
You don't even understand
close
it.
to marriage.
It doesn't change anything. It doesn't make anybody more responsible.
No.
It doesn't make anybody more committed. It doesn't do anything. So what's the need?
So the living together should be a case where two people have come together, agree, they have fun in them, so they can't help but be together.
Let me tell you.
That's a different level. Not to tell me that you want to live together because you want to know each other. No.
Let me even tell you what helps compatibility. Communication.
Actually.
Communication is just the key word.
Like I said, I always say,
Communication
open
is
conversation. Like I always say.
Helps. What makes you, the minute you're able to communicate properly, whether you are in America, in fact, Shay was sharing a story with me, how a friend of his, the guy, I think the guy was in America and the lady was here. But guess what? They were always on the phone 24/7. In fact, you would feel that the girl's boyfriend, was always with them because when they have this gathering,
he knows everything.
On the phone, he knows every single thing. Knew all her friends. When they are even having conversations, he'll be part of the conversations and all that. It just felt that as if the guy was actually in their midst. And they're married now. And guess what? They were countries apart. Communication, not conversation.
Communication.
Do you understand? So,
yeah.
In that scenario, they have a fantastic relationship because they communicate,
yes.
They talk to each other. You have issues, you talk about it. So it is not about living together. I don't think it's about living together.
No.
That helps with compatibility.
No. Because like I said again, you just find out that you guys are not really even talking like that. You go to office, come back, maybe when you have time to chill.
And you take a lot of things for granted.
You feel that person is around
minute you start to live together, you take a lot of things for
granted.
granted.
Be the sea finish now. There will no longer be respect.
Which is why I say that commitment is one of the key things. You don't have to be married. See, a relationship where there's commitment, do you understand? That's the most important thing because it is commitment that will lead to proper communication. If you're committed to making it work, regardless of where you are, regardless of whatever it is, even flaws, nobody is perfect. If you notice that, there's something, and you can have a sincere conversation about whatever it is, and you guys agree, this is how we want to move forward, this is what we want to do, I do not think you would have problems if both people in that situation understand what they're whatever it is they have agreed and how to move forward or move past it. So in my opinion, living together doesn't help compatibility.
Not at all.
Not at all.
Not at all.
So Precious, have I been able to convince you with these few words of mine?
Okay. So personally, I won't live together with my partner before we get married, because
Why?
I want to enjoy my personal space for as long as possible.
And you are
all by myself.
And you are now counseling people to go and live together.
So that's the thing about individual circumstances or individual differences.
So like I said, right, living together should be a thing of choice, right? It shouldn't be a thing of society says living together helps. No. If two people come together and they are comfortable and think that they need to live together and they will enjoy themselves living together, then fine. Because I, for one, I enjoy living with my wife. We're together for 6 months. We got to know each other even more because we're doing things together. I'm not saying it's going to be the same case for every other person. Another person can be there and they will not even have time for themselves. So, again, it's relative. Let it be a decision between two people. Have conversation. But in the long run, if I had to advise, don't live together. Not everybody if you do the same way person if you do.
No, but so really, if you need to live together, don't live together because you think it's going to help your relationship.
No, not at all.
You're living together
It's
because
dead on arrival. That's
both
the
of
reason.
you like each other.
Exactly.
Both of you want to spend time together.
Exactly.
And, okay, in quotes, you want to get to know each other. But if you're not intentional, you would not know anything about each
Exactly.
other. If there's no commitment, it's not going to work. So what everybody should be interested in every relationship, commitment and proper communication is what helps every relationship, no matter how difficult it is. That's what helps every relationship grow.
I think for the first time, we're able to conclude and arrive at an answer for this program. Do not live together.
We'll see you guys tomorrow. Precious, we'll see you on Friday.
On Friday, yes. Tommy, Frank has moved me to Friday.
So
intentionally.
So who's with me on Thursday? I don't understand.
You deal with it. Michelle is with you on Friday.
Oh no! Gente!